M3GAN is iconic, but it's no horror movie. Instead, it's a great comedic thriller with intense moments sprinkled throughout the runtime that effectively build up the experience while watching it. It's a movie that just wants you to have fun, and at least for me, I had fun. And a lot of fun. The movie follows Gemma, a brilliant toy company roboticist who uses AI to create and develop M3GAN, a lifelike doll programmed to emotionally bond with and protect her newly orphaned niece, Katie. But when the program works a little too well, she becomes overprotective of Katie, with terrifying consequences. Straight away, I will say that the entire cast here do a great job at bringing their characters to life. Especially the young actor behind Katie, Violent McGraw, who brought a certain level of emotion to the movie as a kid who did just lose her parents, and basically was bottling up her grief this whole time. And to go with that, the talent behind the camera did an equally good job at weaving those moments into the frame and script. The direction is great, and the script, while a little silly at times, more than serves the story it needed to, while also touching thematically with themes of our own reliance on technology and the need to stay constantly fresh with each new product that is released, and ahead of the competition, if you will, with the dangers of us becoming too attached to that need. As well as that, the subject of death and how it was handled here in the eyes of someone young and the toll that can take on us was honestly surprisingly well done. It definitely went that extra mile with actually having something to say, as opposed to a lot of movies that come and go, especially in the month of January, where they just don't really have much to service and they end up going off the radar pretty quickly. Now, M3GAN, as you can probably imagine, is by no means the work of Tarantino or James Cameron, but it's not exactly trying to be. Instead, it's a very fun and digestible good time, and as a movie that is kicking off the 2023 season, I think it more than did a good job. Now, as for M3GAN herself, as I mentioned before, there is no doubt in my mind, she is iconic. And going forward, I can absolutely see numerous conversations including her for one of the most recognisable and best modern horror characters. She is unsettling at the right moments and a bundle of creeping joy at others in this film, with several really funny scenes throughout. One with her even belting out randomly to a certain song by Sia, which I think most people now know that moment, but the point I'm trying to make is every time she was on screen, there was some form of love from the audience and me for her. When she came into that house the first time and pulled off the shades, which we actually see in the trailer, I kid you not, there was genuine applause for that moment, which for that to happen in a UK cinema, it's just something you never really see, ever. And despite some very apparent cuts to the script and movie, this film does have quite a handful of cool and creative kills, even if they are unfortunately lacking in that blood, horror and gore department. After the movie blew up on TikTok and other socials, as the creatives have came out and admitted, the film went through some changes to make it more accessible to a young audience, shying away a lot from that original R-rated cut, which is in the works and I'm pretty excited to see. But I'm fine with that. It makes sense to me that they'd want to have this film be as successful as it can be, so then they can broaden their horizons with just how far they go in a sequel. The fact that I know I'm going to see the original version just makes me feel happy and content that we have both cuts and both to sort of watch and share about. As for problems here, as I said, the lack of that original R rating is noticeable and a little missed, and the script again can be fairly silly at times, but I'd say towards the final act and as we get into the climax of this film, it spends just a little too much time in this one area. The only other thing that I really noticed and that kept coming back to me was just how much this movie was essentially Child's Play 2019, just stripped for parts, repackaged and refurbished. It follows so many of the same beats as that movie. It even ends pretty much the same, and the premise is very much nearly identical to that Chucky movie from 2019, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We've seen it happen a lot before, and it's going to happen again at some point down the line for other films, but it was something noticeable, and it was something that I just couldn't look away from. But just like I'd go into a Chucky movie wanting to see Chucky, I went into M3GAN wanting to see M3GAN, and they delivered on that completely. and in a fair balance of comedy and camp with an admittedly small, again, seasoning of anything remotely scary. But that pretty much sums up my thoughts on M3GAN. I had a really good time with this movie. I want to hear your thoughts now. What do you think of this film? Are you excited for that new cut? And did you find this film in any way, shape or form scary? Because I know I didn't really. It just had the odd one or two unsettling and creepy moments. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed the film. Take it easy, guys. Bye.